So, we've all been there, right? We've all built REST APIs to expose our data. But today, we're going to flip that script. We're not just building services anymore. We're learning how to connect them. We're making the leap from being a builder to becoming an architect. Let's dive in. And a quick shout out, this entire explainer is based on a fantastic big picture lesson from Dr. Sasan Azizian. He really framed why this topic is so critical for any developer working today. Okay, so you've done it. You have this beautiful functioning API. But have you ever really stopped to think about who's on the other end? What happens when your application needs to be the one making the call? That right there is the crucial next step in building real-world software. We're about to shift our whole perspective. We're moving from just building these little isolated services to understanding how they all connect into this larger, more powerful system. This is the big picture of how modern software actually works. You know, what's great about this slide is how simple it is. On one side, we have what we probably already know. Creating APIs is all about exposing endpoints. But the other side, that's our focus today. Consuming APIs is all about calling those endpoints. It's the other half of the conversation. And this kind of thing happens everywhere. I mean, think about it. An order service is pretty useless if it can't talk to a payment service, right? A student portal doesn't do much if it can't get data from a course service. These things aren't isolated islands. They're constantly talking to each other to get things done. And that right there is why this skill is just non-negotiable today. Modern software is rarely one giant single block of code anymore. It's a whole network of distributed microservices, and APIs are the glue that holds it all together. If you don't know how to make them talk, you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. So how do we actually do this in the Spring world? Well, the good news is we have options. Spring gives us 3 main tools for the job, and our goal here is to figure out which one to use and when. First up, we've got RestTemplate. This is kind of the old guard, the traditional way of doing things. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's blocking, which means your code literally just stops and waits for a response. You build a request, you send it, and you wait. A great way to remember this one is to just think of it as the classic HTTP client in Spring. You're going to see it a lot in older projects, but for anything new, it's pretty much considered legacy. Okay, let's jump into the modern era with WebClient. This is the replacement for RestTemplate, and it's a game changer. It's non-blocking and reactive, so instead of waiting, it can handle tons of requests at once, which makes it super scalable and perfect for high-performance apps. So if RestTemplate is the classic, then WebClient is definitely the modern, scalable HTTP client. If you're building a new app today that needs to handle a lot of traffic, this is going to be your go-to choice, no question. And finally, we have something that's in a class of its own, OpenFeign. This is what's called a declarative client. So what does that mean? Well, instead of you writing out all the logic to make an HTTP call, you just define a simple Java interface with a few annotations. Spring sees that and writes all the boilerplate code for you. It's incredibly clean. The best way to think about OpenFeign is as the professional microservice communication tool. It's built specifically to make the communication between your own internal services as painless and as clean as possible. So let's put it all together right here. This table nails it. RestTemplate, it's imperative, it's blocking, and it's best for legacy stuff. WebClient, it's reactive, non-blocking, and built for modern, high-traffic needs. And OpenFeign, it's declarative, hides all the messy details, and is absolutely perfect for microservices talking to other microservices. Okay, so we know the what. Now let's talk about the when. How do you actually decide which of these to pull out of your toolbox for a project? Let's walk through a super simple way to think about it. You're going to want to reach for a REST template mostly when you're dropped into an older project. If you're doing maintenance on a legacy system, or the task is super simple and a quick blocking call is no big deal, yeah, REST template gets the job done. Now, WebClient, you should be using this for pretty much all new application development. Seriously, if you're building for scale, if you expect a lot of users, or if you're dealing with asynchronous data, this is your default. It's built for the demands of the modern web. And then you'll choose OpenFeign when you are specifically working in a microservice world. When you have a bunch of your own services that need to chat with each other all the time, OpenFeign keeps that code super clean and easy to maintain. It really is a game changer for internal communication. All right, let's zoom out for a minute. Learning these tools isn't just about learning 3 new libraries. It's really about making a fundamental shift in your thinking. It's about adopting the mindset of someone who builds distributed systems. And this, right here, is the key takeaway. This is what elevates you as a developer. It moves you from saying, I can build a REST API, to being able to say, I can design a distributed system. That is a major, major step up in your career. So let's lock this in one more time. RestTemplate is the traditional way, WebClient is the modern, scalable engine, and OpenFeign is your specialized microservice-ready tool. Got it? Traditional, modern, and microservice-ready. At the end of the day, creating APIs is about exposing a service, but consuming APIs, that's about integrating whole systems. A real backend engineer has to master both. So the question I'll leave you with is this. Now that you know how to connect the dots, what bigger, more ambitious systems are you going to build?